pretty much everybody that is in here is in Boise at the 50th Synod of the Diocese of Idaho. And as is proper on these occasions, I will read the bishop's homily that he has sent to all parishes to be read to the people who aren't in Boise. Now this, he asks to invite the congregation to please open your prayer books to page 304. It's the beginning of the baptismal service. And keep your thumb there. Loving, liberating, and life-giving. This poetic and profound alliteration would be one way of describing the call of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Love as God loves, which will liberate us from the chains of self-deception, which will open each of us to a nourishing new way in the world, a Jesus way in the world. The greatest joys of my ministry as bishop are to celebrate the rites of confirmation, reception, and reaffirmation, to help our sisters and brothers proclaim a new commitment or direction in their spiritual lives is an inspiring honor. If these moments are not available at each visitation, then, in my view, the traditional recitation of the baptismal covenant rises to highest importance. I have been talking about the spiritual demands of our baptismal covenant at each parish this year, partly because the covenant is too valuable to only be encountered at seasonal baptisms, but more so that we will all come to see that the fullest and holiest expression of our Christian discipleship is not a comfort nor a place of rest and assurance. If you recall, the first two vows on page 304 as do you believe in God, and I believe, and do you believe in Jesus Christ, and the vows there. And will you continue the Apostles' Creed teaching? I will with God's help. If you recall, the first two vows, page 304, explicitly call us to worshipful fellowship and honesty about our human deficiencies. Yes, whenever two or three are gathered together, self-righteous judgment and resentments lurk. Yes, we should come together in praiseful worship and affirming fellowship, yet we must be aware of our inclinations to set ourselves apart or above others. The three concluding vows, page 305, propel us beyond ourselves into interaction with our neighbors, both near and far. Using voice and kindly action, we are to proclaim the love of God manifest in His Son. With clearer vision, we are to perceive and honor the likeness of Jesus in every person. Finally, aware of the human complications and duplicities around us, we are called to be practitioners of justice and peace. The reality of living into these baptismal vows, however, is that they will assuredly and absolutely lead us into places of anxiousness and self-critical doubt. Yet, only when we experience the inherent discomfort of service in awkward situations will we know we are in the right baptismal place, a holy place, the place where God waits to transform us, having cast off our soothing blinders and broken us open to the least, last, and lost of this world. What the world sorely needs from every follower of Jesus Christ is holy engagement. What our neighbors need is for every Episcopalian to live into the shelving rewards of the baptismal covenant we have vowed to fulfill. What we need is to trust that God meets us where we are sent, and that we will find some of life's value and meaning on that sacred ground. Jesus affirms all of this, I believe, when he declares what must be the fullest understanding of life as a child of God. Love God, love your neighbor, and love yourself. To love God displaces our egos from center stage, creating room for God's reconciling presence. To love our neighbor is to be vulnerable to their transformation of us. To love ourselves welcomes the possibility that we are truly beloved of God, with every right to a sacred place in God's creation. Loving, liberating, and life-giving. This phrase is the way that our presiding bishop and the Episcopal Church at large are describing both the call and reward of the ancient and present movement of the Holy Spirit among us. It is a perfect description of the way that Jesus moved through his own discipleship under God. Loving, liberating, and life-giving. God's gift. God's expectation. God's promise. May it be so. Amen.